They're schemers. Schemers trying to control their little worlds. I'm not a schemer. I try to show the schemers how pathetic their attempts to control things really are.
I was having some cameramen film the installation of a precision landing facility we were putting in right on the edge of the dry lake. And this saucer flew right over them and put down 3 little gear and landed out on the dry lake bed. And they went out to, picked up their cameras and moved on out toward him filming. And he lifted off, put the gear back in the well, and climbed out at a very high rate of speed and disappeared. And so while I was going through all the regulation books and finding out the number to call in Washington to report it, I had them go over and develop the film. By the time they got back with the developed film, I was on the higher and higher and higher level officer talking to me. Finally with the colonel telling me to, when the film arrived at my desk, to put it in the carrier pouch. There would be a courier there at my office by that time already, and they'd arranged for him to fly in our base airplane back to Washington with these films, and do not run prints, etc., etc., etc. We didn't have a chance to run it. I had a chance to hold it up to the window and look at it. It was certainly good film. Well, by this time I was involved in the research and development and doing very classified programs myself, at the test center. So I knew that we didn't have any vehicles of that kind, and I was 99 9/10% sure that the Russians didn't have any of that type either. So there certainly was, at that point in time, there was no doubt in my mind that this vehicle was made at some other place than here on Earth. Yeah, well, Buck Rogers and Flash Gordon coming true.
While human beings can only see from red to violet wavelengths of light, the infrared and ultraviolet spectrums are invisible to humans. I quickly learned that NASA uses special video cameras that are capable of seeing into these invisible spectra.
The tether has broken and is going away from it. Get it on the TV, Claude. Please get it on the TV.
After the 12-mile-long tether snaps, several days later on an orbital pass, the cameras find something that should not be there. In the NASA STS-75 tether incident of March 1996, we find NASA using ultraviolet light-sensitive video cameras. This is where some of the largest UFOs ever caught on videotape have been captured. Huge dish-shaped luminous UFOs swarm the tether. We know the tether is 77 to 100 miles away from the cameras on the shuttle. The UFOs pass behind the 12-mile-long tether, so we can therefore use the 12-mile length of the tether to measure their minimum diameters. Some measure between 1 and 3 miles wide, making them literally motherships. In Project Blue Book files, UFOs with these same features have been reported several times as shiny metallic discs with dark centers. Specifically, in the invisible infrared, Trevor James Constable, a retired World War II radar operator from New Zealand, has photographed many UFOs with the same features, translucent discs of light with dark centers.